Tool Time Tuesday. Today we are building the Homeowner toolkit that keeps a small problem from turning into a whole weekend of regret. Not the fantasy garage, not the wall of tools from a guy who's been collecting since 1987. I mean the basic kit for the person who just needs to hang something straight, tighten something loose, measure before they cut, and know when a job has crossed the line into call a professional territory. Rule number 1, the first tool is not even the cool one. It is safety gear. Safety glasses, work gloves when the job calls for them, hearing protection when power tools get loud, a dust mask or respirator when you're cutting, sanding, or dealing with dust you should not be breathing. You do not need to make every little job dramatic, but your eyes, ears, hands, and lungs are not replaceable parts. And if a tool is cracked, loose, sparking, missing a guard, or acting weird, do not try to be a hero. Stop and figure out what is wrong before you make it worse. Now we get to the one tool that should live in every junk drawer, tool bag, truck, garage, and probably one random kitchen drawer, a tape measure. Get a tape measure that is easy to read, locks solid, and is long enough for real homeowner work. The little keychain tape is fine for curiosity. It is not what you want when you are measuring a room, a door, a shelf, or a piece of trim. And here's the part that makes people think their tape measure is broken. That hook on the end is supposed to move a tiny bit. When you pull the hook against an outside edge, it shifts one way. When you push it against an inside surface, it shifts the other way. That little movement helps account for the thickness of the hook. But there is a catch. If the hook is bent, jammed with dirt, or sloppy because the tape measure has been abused for years, your measurements can be off. And bad measurements do not care how confident you were when you made the mark. Next, a pencil or marker. I know, not exciting, but if you cannot mark the measurement, you did not finish the measurement. Use pencil on wood, painter's tape when you don't want to mark the surface, and a marker when the surface calls for it. The point is simple. Measure, mark, then check again before you cut, drill, or hang anything. Now let's talk screwdrivers. A basic homeowner needs a Phillips screwdriver and a flathead screwdriver at minimum. A good multi-bit screwdriver is even better for tight storage because one handle can cover a bunch of common screw types. But here's where people mess up. They use the wrong tip and then blame the screw. If the bit is too small, too big, or the wrong shape, it chews up the screw head. Then a 2-minute job becomes you hunched over a cabinet door, whispering threats at a stripped screw like it owes you money. Use firm pressure, keep the tool straight, and match the bit to the fastener. If it starts camming out or slipping, stop. Don't just push harder until something rounds off.
Next tool, a hammer. For most home stuff, a basic claw hammer handles the normal jobs, hanging small hardware, tapping pieces into place, pulling a nail, or persuading something that is close but not quite lined up. But use it with some respect. A hammer is not a universal problem solver. If you are beating on plumbing, electrical boxes, glass, finished surfaces, or something under tension, slow down. Sometimes the right move is not more force. It is figuring out why the thing is stuck. Next up, pliers and an adjustable wrench. Pliers grab, bend, pull, and hold. Needle nose pliers help in tight spots. Groove joint pliers give you more jaw opening for bigger stuff. An adjustable wrench helps with nuts and bolts when you do not have the exact wrench size. But do not use pliers like a wrench if you care about the nut, bolt, or fitting. Pliers can chew up soft metal, and on plumbing, be careful. You can turn a small drip into a bigger problem if you over-tighten, crack something, or twist a fitting the wrong way. If water is moving, electricity is involved, gas is involved, or a structural part of the house is involved, that is your line in the sand. You can learn, but you do not gamble with the house. Next, a level. You can eyeball a picture frame. You can also be wrong every time you walk past it for the next 4 years. A small torpedo level is cheap, simple, and useful. Hanging shelves, pictures, cabinets, towel bars, curtain rods, and anything else that your eyes will judge forever. Level is not fancy. Level is peace. Now add a stud finder. This is one of those tools people make jokes about, but it saves you from guessing what's behind the wall. If you are hanging something heavy, you need to know whether you are hitting a stud, drywall, masonry, or something else entirely. And this is important. A stud finder is not permission to drill blindly. Walls can hide wiring, pipes, vents, and surprises from the last homeowner. Use the tool, understand what it's telling you, and if the job feels questionable, stop. Next tool, a utility knife with spare blades. A sharp blade is safer than a dull one when you use it correctly, because you don't have to fight it as much. But the key words are, use it correctly. Cut away from your body, keep your offhand out of the path, retract the blade when you are done. Change the blade before it becomes a jagged little butter knife. Use it for boxes, packaging, drywall scoring, carpet edge work, and clean cutting tasks where scissors are not the move.
Light. A flashlight or headlamp belongs in the kit, not your phone as the only plan. Your phone is for calling someone, taking a picture, or looking up the model number. A real light lets you see under sinks, behind appliances, inside cabinets, and around the breaker panel without juggling a $1,000 glass rectangle in your teeth. A headlamp is even better because it points where you look and keeps both hands free. Now we get to the power tool most homeowners should eventually own, a drill and driver. A cordless drill driver can drill pilot holes, drive screws, assemble furniture, mount brackets, and handle a lot of basic work. But this is where the safety line gets brighter. Do not drill into a wall unless you have a reason to believe you know what is behind it. Do not use a drill around water. Do not force a bit that is smoking, binding, or walking across the surface. And do not remove guards or defeat safety features on tools just because the internet made it look easy. Use pilot holes when the material calls for it. Use the clutch so you do not bury screws too deep or snap them off. Keep bits sharp. Let the tool do the work. If you are white-knuckling it, something is probably wrong. Last basic category, storage. A tool bag, box, or drawer does not need to be fancy. It just needs to keep the basic kit together so you can find it when the sink is leaking, the smoke alarm is chirping, the door hinge is loose, or the shelf bracket is hanging on by pure hope. The best homeowner toolkit is boring in the best way. Tape measure, pencil, screwdrivers, hammer, pliers, adjustable wrench, level, stud finder, utility knife, flashlight, safety gear, drill driver when you're ready. That kit will not make you a contractor. It will make you a homeowner who is not helpless. And that is the whole point. You do the small, safe stuff. You learn carefully. You respect the tools. And when the job crosses into electrical, plumbing, structural work, gas, roof work, ladders near power lines, or anything that could hurt somebody, you call the right professional. There is no shame in that. The goal is not to prove you can suffer through every job. The goal is to fix the problem without creating 3 new ones. This has been Tool Time Tuesday. Build the basic kit, use it right, and remember, measure twice, breathe once, then do the work.